to Inflection Point Podcast. I'm your host, Lauren, LeBron, and
hi everyone, I'm Steve Ellis.
And so our podcast is going to be about mental health, self-healing, self-development, and just all the things that have to do with that. It's going to be a little bit about our personal experiences as well as different social topics that we see going on throughout the collective and our personal take on it through a psychology, human resources, and just lived experience lens. We hope you enjoy. A little bit about myself personally. I'm a stay-at-home mother I'm stay-at-home mother of 3 young children. My oldest is going into high school. I have my depth psychology certificate, as well as I'm going through yoga teacher school, and I have my meditation certificate. I have a lot of certificates because I didn't want to go back to school, so I went the certificate route, and I pretty much spent my entire savings on getting a bunch of certificates in mental health, psychology, and helping people heal through specifically CPTSD and trauma is my specialty. So a lot of psychoanalysis and behavioral science. But my real passion is just about lived experience and how I've gone through a lot, and I've gone through a lot of therapy myself, and just explaining the process and trying to get people to admit that it's okay to not be okay and get help, because that's the biggest thing. There's still such a stigma about mental health in this country, and it blows my mind how many messages I get on Facebook and even in Messenger about people who are so against going to therapy, and I just don't get it. I mean, I get it now. I'm starting to understand that there's a lot of conditioning from older generations against it, a lot of traumas that have happened through the mental health field just because they didn't know but any better 30 years ago. They've had a lot of new science that's come out, and a lot of new procedures and things like that are more inclusive and more not so much judgmental. But I feel like before it was quite judgmental and a lot of bad advice being thrown out there. So I feel like a lot of new studies have come out that have really helped. And it's time to get past move past from the past and understand that things change, and not only do people change, but whole associations and topics and fields of study change. So I'm really excited and hope that our podcast helps you get the help you need, whether it be resources or mental health or positive mindset, whatever it is. I hope that we can help you in some way by sharing our story. Go ahead.
So as I mentioned, my name is Steve. I'm a worker in the human resources field within the public sector. I have a bachelor's degree in human resource management with a minor in marketing, and I wanted to be involved in this project because mental health has been a passion of mine for a long time. There are a lot of people out there who don't realize that all the trauma that's been a part of their life, they can work to move forward from that. They can process it. They can heal. They just have to recognize that no one is ever fully healed. But along that journey, you don't have to feel lost. You don't have to feel alone in it. And one of the reasons why I've gotten involved in the human resources field is because I want to emphasize that human part within human resources. I want people to feel comfortable in finding support within the public sector, the private sector, and I want people to recognize human resources as part of the nervous system of any organization that actually utilizes it. It doesn't have to be seen as the principal's office. It can be something that helps support and uplift you in times of struggle. And that's what the mental health field should be. We'll talk throughout the episodes about some of the downfalls within the mental health community, but we'll also try to refocus on the positives of just recognizing, again, that you don't need to be alone in this lifetime, because you're not. People aren't meant to walk through life alone. Humans are social creatures. And at the end of the day, what we want you to take away from it is not that we're trying to control how you live your life, but we're willing to provide advice, tools, and different perspectives that you can hopefully at least look at and feel that there is a positive path forward for you.
Absolutely. And my biggest thing I want to also bring forward is tools. I plan on creating worksheets and workbooks for people to do either in between therapy sessions or on their own. And, I think for a large part of mental health is you just need to sit down and journal. Honestly, I don't think you always have to go see a therapist. I think a lot of it really can be done alone and with the support of your friends and family, unless you're like really, really struggling. And then, then absolutely get the help. I think sometimes we push get therapy, get therapy, get therapy, and it's inundating the mental health field. And so they're not able to get to everybody. So if I can, through this channel and through this podcast, help you get the resources you need to do some of your own work at home and be a self-healer, I think that will help everybody all around. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited to have Steve's help. It took me a while to ask him to help me with this because I wasn't sure if he'd be willing to, but he's an extremely kind and empathetic person. And he's got a good heart. And I know he has a lot that he can share, whatever he's willing to share, of course. And that hopefully we can, shine some light onto being human and what it is to be human, a whole human being, and not someone that spiritually bypasses their emotions, and just acknowledges the fact that humans are emotional creatures. That's what separates us from the rest of the mammals. We have emotions, and they can be really absolutely silly sometimes, and it's okay. And we have to learn to accept that within ourselves so that we can accept that within others. I think that's the biggest key component, is that we are so easy to point the finger and say you're doing something wrong, or this is from this, but we don't look back at ourselves and do the work within ourselves. Because once you're able to do the work within yourself, then you're able to understand and be a little bit more compassionate and empathetic towards others. I feel like we have a very narcissistic society right now, and it's because we're so quick to point the finger at everybody else, but nobody wants to take accountability, which is like my new favorite word, and realize that we all suck sometimes, and we're all capable of horrible things and absolutely amazing things. So I think once we're able to realize that and truly accept that both sides are light and are dark, that's when we'll truly heal as a society and maybe come back together. There's been a lot of things within the last, I would say 5, maybe even longer years that really split us apart. And I think we really need to all sit down and do the work and really examine ourselves and examine our culture. And if this is truly where we want to go, is this where we want our generation, the next generations, to go? I think we talk a lot bad about Generation Z, but they're the most wanting to heal and wanting to fix the messes of war and poverty, and they're doing the most out here trying to do their best. Meanwhile, everybody, millennials and up, are kind of just complaining about it and not really doing as much as they could. So hopefully we'll inspire you guys to do a little bit more. Real quick disclaimer that Steve's going to read off to you guys, and we'll end this introduction episode.
So this is our disclaimer, also known as the "please don't sue us" statement. Lauren Rose and Stephen Ellis are not licensed mental or physical health professionals and are not licensed to treat or diagnose any health conditions. All information and advice we share is based off our own research and understanding of studies conducted using the standard scientific process, along with our personal lived experiences and observations. Although we will use psychological, medical, and other scientific studies as a reference, the information we provide is not to be used to replace a licensed physician's advice, but rather to be used in conjunction with your healthcare provider's instructions. We highly recommend you confer with and seek medical or mental health care if needed, and never ignore your body's responses. to any new activities. We cannot emphasize that enough. If you are in medical need, do not use a podcast as a substitution for actual medical care. There are resources available to you. There is support out there. Again, our goal is to provide you with a means, with tools, with guidance. And our expectation is that you understand that and understand that any positive change, anything worth having, is worth the effort and putting in the work for yourself. No one is going to do the work for you.
Absolutely. That's a big thing. I think, especially within I talk about the healing and the coaching industry a lot on my Facebook, is they promise you the world and they can fix your problems. Nobody can fix your problems but you. It starts with you and it ends with you. So hopefully you have the support, and if not, you have the capabilities to do it within yourself. And we are here to support you in any way we can through our Facebook groups. We will link all of our links below. I have it on my Instagram, my links with our Facebook group, and I'll link both of our personal Facebooks, because if Steve is willing. If not, you could be part of our little Facebook group. And we'd love to have you there, and we'd love to have deeper conversations in there. And maybe one day we'll be able to host, bigger meetings with bigger, amounts of people, and actually talk to you guys and get to know you guys one-on-one. But until then, thank you so much for joining us and listening, and we hope you enjoy our podcast. Bye.
Thank you.